Hashtag I know your secrets, the truth you hide. I know your secrets. Yes, you. The person reading these words right now. I know what you hide from the world, what you conceal from your friends and family, what you barely admit to yourself in your most honest moments. And I am about to expose everything. You might think I am being dramatic. You might believe your secrets are unique, that nobody could possibly know what goes on in the private chambers of your mind. But here is the truth that will unsettle you: your secrets are not unique. They are predictable. They follow patterns that I have seen thousands of times before. And once you understand this, once you realize that I truly do know your secrets, you will have a choice to make about what you do with this knowledge. Are you ready? Because there is no going back once these truths are spoken aloud. Once your secrets are exposed, you cannot return to comfortable denial. You can only decide whether to continue living the lie or finally face reality. Let us begin. Hashtag secret number 1. You are not working as hard as you claim. The first secret I know about you is this: you tell people you are working hard, that you are giving your best effort, that you are doing everything you can to achieve your goals. But this is a lie. Not a malicious lie necessarily, but a lie nonetheless. I know that you waste hours every single day. I know about the time you spend scrolling through social media when you could be working. I know about the television shows you watch when you should be studying or building your business. I know about the mornings you sleep in when you could be getting ahead. I know about the excuses you make to avoid difficult tasks. You work, yes. But you do not work hard. Not truly. Not even close to your actual capacity. You work just enough to maintain the appearance of effort, just enough to justify your lack of results to yourself and others, but nowhere near enough to actually achieve what you claim you want. The truth is, you are operating at perhaps 30 to 40% of your actual capability. Maybe 50% on your best days. But never anywhere near your full potential. And you know this. Deep down, beneath all the rationalizations and justifications, you know you could be doing more. You know there are hours in your day that you waste. You know there are tasks you avoid. You know there are shortcuts you take. You know there is a gap between what you say you want and what you are actually willing to do to get it. This is your first secret. And the moment you stop lying to yourself about how hard you are really working is the moment you can begin to change. Hashtag secret number 2. You are afraid. Your second secret is fear. Not the fear you admit to, the socially acceptable fears that everyone claims to have. I am talking about the deep, paralyzing fear that controls almost every decision you make. You are afraid of failure. Terrified, actually. So afraid that you would rather not try at all than try and fail. You have brilliant ideas that you never act on because acting on them risks failure, and failure would confirm what you secretly suspect about yourself, that maybe you are not as capable as you pretend to be. You are afraid of success. This one surprises people when I tell them, but it is true. You are afraid of what success would require of you. Afraid of the responsibility. Afraid of the attention. Afraid that if you achieved what you claim to want, you would discover that it does not make you as happy as you thought it would, and then what would you have to hope for? You are afraid of judgment. What will people think if you try something bold and fail? What will they say if you pursue your dreams and fall short? So you play it safe. You stay in your comfortable mediocrity where nobody can criticize you for aiming too high. You are afraid of being alone. Of discovering that if you pursue what you really want, you might have to leave behind people who are comfortable with who you are now but threatened by who you might become. You are afraid of your own power. Of what you might be capable of if you actually applied yourself fully. Because if you discovered your true potential and still failed to use it, you would have no excuses left. Fear is the invisible puppet master pulling your strings, and you pretend it does not exist because acknowledging it would require you to do something about it. Hashtag secret number 3, you lie to yourself constantly. The third secret is perhaps the most damaging. You are a habitual liar, and your primary victim is yourself. You lie about why you are not where you want to be. You blame circumstances, other people, lack of opportunities, bad luck, timing. You construct elaborate narratives about why your current situation is not your fault, why you are the victim of forces beyond your control. But I know the truth. Your situation is exactly what you have created through your choices and actions, or more often, your lack of action. You are not a victim. You are the author of your own story, and you have been writing a tragedy while pretending you have no control over the plot. You lie about what you want. You say you want success, wealth, achievement, recognition. But your actions reveal what you actually want: comfort, ease, entertainment, approval. If you truly wanted what you claim to want, your daily choices would reflect that. They do not. You lie about who you are. You have created a persona, a character you play for the world and even for yourself. You present yourself as ambitious, dedicated, hardworking, principled. But alone, when nobody is watching, you are something quite different. And you know it. You lie about your commitments. How many times have you promised yourself you would start that diet, begin that project, establish that routine? How many times have you broken those promises? Your word, even to yourself, has become meaningless because you violate it so frequently. The lies you tell yourself are more destructive than any lie you could tell others, because they prevent you from seeing reality clearly. And you cannot fix what you refuse to see. Hashtag secret number 4, you are waiting for permission. Here is a secret you probably have not even fully admitted to yourself. You are waiting for permission to live your life. You are waiting for someone to tell you it is okay to pursue your dreams, to take risks, to be ambitious, to want more. You are waiting for the right moment. For circumstances to align perfectly. For someone to believe in you first so you can believe in yourself. For an external sign that now is the time to begin. But I know the truth, there is no permission coming. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, now you may pursue your potential. No perfect moment will arrive when all obstacles disappear and success becomes easy. You are waiting because waiting is comfortable. Because as long as you are waiting for permission, you do not have to take responsibility for your inaction. You can blame the fact that nobody gave you the green light, that circumstances were not ideal, that you were not ready. But you are as ready as you will ever be. You have everything you need to begin. The only thing lacking is your decision to stop waiting and start acting. Hashtag secret number 5, you know exactly what you need to do. This secret is particularly interesting because it is both true and completely ignored by you. You know exactly what you need to do to improve your life. You know what habits to build. You know what habits to break. You know what skills to develop. You know what relationships to invest in and which to distance yourself from. You do not have an information problem. You have an execution problem. You consume endless content about success, productivity, habits, mindset. You read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts. You accumulate knowledge constantly. But you do not apply it. You know you should exercise, but you do not. You know you should save money, but you do not. You know you should work on your most important project first thing in the morning, but you do not. You know you should stop wasting time on social media, but you do not. The gap between what you know and what you do is the entire distance between where you are and where you want to be. And you are aware of this gap every single day, which is why you constantly seek new information, not because you need it, but because consuming information feels like progress while requiring no actual change. Hashtag secret number 6. You compare yourself constantly and it is destroying you. You present yourself as confident and secure, but I know your secret. You are constantly comparing yourself to others, and it is poisoning your peace and your progress. You scroll through social media and feel inadequate. You see others' success and feel like a failure. You notice what others have and feel deprived. You observe others' relationships, bodies, careers, lifestyles, and you measure yourself against them, always finding yourself lacking. This comparison is destroying you in two ways. First, it makes you miserable. You can never enjoy what you have because you are always focused on what others have that you do not. Second, it misdirects your energy. Instead of focusing on your own growth and progress, you are obsessing about others, trying to keep up with people who are on completely different paths with completely different circumstances. You know you should not compare yourself to others. You have heard this advice 1,000 times. But you cannot stop. And the reason you cannot stop is because you have not clearly defined what success means for you personally, so you default to using others as your measuring stick. Hashtag secret number 7. You settle for less than you desire. Here is a painful truth I know about you. You have settled. Not in the sense that you made a conscious, strategic decision to accept certain limitations. In the sense that you gave up on parts of your dreams and pretended you did not want them anyway. You wanted to build that business, write that book, create that art, achieve that goal. But it seemed too hard, too risky, too unlikely. So you convinced yourself you did not really want it that much. You rationalized. You told yourself you were being realistic, practical, mature. But late at night, when you are alone with your thoughts, you know the truth. You did not stop wanting those things. You just stopped believing you could achieve them. And rather than live with the pain of unfulfilled desire, you pretended the desire itself was foolish. This is one of the saddest secrets I know about you. Because those dreams, those goals, those ambitions, they were not random. They were glimpses of your potential, callings toward what you could become. And you ignored them not because they were wrong, but because you were afraid. Hashtag secret number 8. You use busyness as a shield. You tell everyone how busy you are. How overwhelmed. How much you have to do. And yes, you are busy. But I know your secret. You use busyness as a shield to avoid doing what actually matters. You fill your schedule with low-value activities, meetings that accomplish nothing, tasks that feel like work but produce minimal results. You stay busy so you can avoid the difficult, important work that would actually move your life forward. Because here is the thing about that important work, it is uncomfortable. It requires deep focus. It might result in failure. It demands that you operate at the edge of your abilities. So instead, you stay busy with easier tasks that give you the feeling of productivity without the risk or discomfort of real progress. You know exactly what I am talking about. You know which tasks are genuinely important and which are just busy work you use to avoid the important tasks. You know when you are working hard and when you are just working long. You know the difference, but you pretend you do not because that would require change. Hashtag secret number 9. You care too much about what others think. This secret affects almost every decision you make, yet you probably deny its influence. You care desperately about what others think of you. Not in the healthy sense of respecting others' perspectives. In the unhealthy sense of allowing others' opinions to determine your choices. You do not pursue certain opportunities because of what people might think. You do not dress a certain way, speak a certain way, or express certain opinions because you are terrified of judgment. You perform for an audience, constantly monitoring how others perceive you, adjusting your behavior to maximize approval. This is exhausting. And it is preventing you from living authentically. Because the person you present to the world is a carefully curated version designed to minimize criticism and maximize acceptance. The real you, with your actual thoughts, desires, quirks, and ambitions, remains hidden. You know this is true. You know there are things you want to do but do not because of potential judgment. You know there are opinions you hold but do not express. You know there are versions of yourself you suppress to maintain social acceptance. And the cruelest part? Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. They are too busy worrying about what you think of them. Hashtag secret number 10, you are running out of time. This is the secret that, if truly understood, would change everything. But you avoid thinking about it because it is too uncomfortable, too final, too real. You are going to die. Not someday in the abstract future. Actually die. Your time on earth is finite, and more of it has passed than you realize. You have fewer days ahead of you than you have already lived through. And those days are passing faster than they ever have before. But here is your secret: you live as if you have unlimited time. You procrastinate as if there will always be another opportunity. You wait as if tomorrow is guaranteed. You waste today as if there will always be another today just like it. You know you are mortal. But you do not really believe it. You believe it intellectually but not emotionally. Because if you truly, deeply understood that your time is limited, you would not waste a single moment on things that do not matter. You would not scroll mindlessly through social media. You would not watch television shows you do not even enjoy. You would not stay in relationships that drain you. You would not remain in jobs that do not fulfill you. You would not postpone your dreams indefinitely. But you do all these things because somewhere deep inside, you believe you have plenty of time. You do not. The clock is ticking. It has been ticking since the moment you were born, and it will not stop until you are gone. Hashtag secret number 11, you know you could be doing more deep down, beneath all the excuses and rationalizations. You know you are capable of more than you are currently achieving. You know you have talents you are not using. You know you have potential you are not realizing. You know you have time you are wasting. This knowledge gnaws at you. It creates a low-level anxiety that never quite goes away. It is why you sometimes lie awake at night feeling vaguely dissatisfied despite having no specific complaint. It is why you feel a pang of envy when you see others succeeding. It is why you defend your choices so vigorously when nobody even attacked them. You know you could be doing more, and that knowledge is uncomfortable because it comes with responsibility. If you can do more, then not doing more is a choice. And you do not want it to be a choice. You want it to be circumstances, other people, bad luck, anything but your own decision. But it is your decision. Every single day, you decide whether to live up to your potential or fall short of it. And every single day, you know which choice you are making. Hashtag secret number 12, you are lonely. This might be the secret you hide most carefully. You present yourself as independent, self-sufficient, socially satisfied. But I know the truth, you are lonely. Not in the simple sense of lacking company. In the deeper sense of lacking true connection. You are surrounded by people but truly known by almost no one. You have relationships, but they are surface level. You have conversations, but they rarely touch what you actually think and feel. You have connections, but they do not connect to your authentic self. This is partly because you are afraid to be truly known. What if people saw the real you and did not like what they saw? What if you revealed your actual thoughts and people rejected you? So you keep your authentic self hidden, and in doing so, you guarantee the very loneliness you fear. You long for deep connection. For someone to truly see you and accept you. For relationships where you do not have to perform or pretend. But you are unwilling to take the risk of vulnerability required to create such connections. So you settle for shallow interactions that leave you feeling isolated even in a crowd. And you pretend this is fine, that you prefer it this way, that you are just naturally private. But you are not fooling anyone, least of all yourself. Hashtag secret number 13, you have given up on some of your dreams. Remember when you were younger and you had big dreams? Remember when you believed you could achieve extraordinary things? What happened to that person? I will tell you what happened. Life got hard. You faced setbacks. You experienced failure. You encountered resistance from others and from circumstances. And somewhere along the way, you decided it was easier to lower your expectations than to keep fighting for what you wanted. You do not call it giving up. You call it being realistic. Being practical. Growing up. Accepting reality. But these are just prettier words for the same thing: surrender. You had dreams of creating something meaningful, of making an impact, of living extraordinarily. And you traded them for comfort, security, and the avoidance of disappointment. You chose the certainty of mediocrity over the risk of attempting greatness. And now you live with that choice. You rationalize it. You defend it. You pretend you are content. But late at night, when you are honest with yourself, you know you gave up. And it hurts. Not a sharp pain, but a dull ache that never quite goes away. Hashtag secret number 14, you are addicted to distraction. You cannot sit still for 5 minutes without reaching for your phone. You cannot work for 30 minutes without checking email or social media. You cannot be alone with your thoughts without turning on music or a podcast or television. This is not preference. This is addiction. You are addicted to distraction, to constant stimulation, to never having to sit with yourself and your thoughts. And like all addictions, this one is destroying you, just slowly enough that you do not notice. Your attention span has been shredded. Your ability to focus deeply has atrophied. Your capacity for boredom, which is actually the state from which creativity emerges, has been eliminated. You have traded the ability to concentrate for the comfort of constant entertainment. You know this is true. You know you check your phone too often. You know you waste hours on social media. You know you fill every moment of silence with noise. But you do not stop because stopping would require you to face the discomfort of being undistracted, and you are not sure you can handle that anymore. Hashtag secret number 15, you are waiting for motivation. Here is a secret that keeps you stuck. You are waiting to feel motivated before you take action. You believe motivation precedes action, that you need to feel like doing something before you do it. But I know the truth, you have it backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Motivation is not something you wait for, it is something you build through doing. You wait to feel like exercising before you exercise. You wait to feel like working before you work. You wait to feel like creating before you create. And because you rarely feel motivated while you are sitting idle, you rarely take action. Meanwhile, successful people understand that you must act first, and motivation follows. They do the thing even when they do not feel like it, and in the doing, motivation emerges. You know this intellectually. You have experienced it yourself, times when you started reluctantly but then got into flow once you began. But you forget this lesson constantly and return to waiting for motivation that will not come until you start moving. Hashtag the choice you now face. I have exposed your secrets. All of them. The lies you tell yourself, the fears you hide, the potential you are wasting, the time you are running out of. You can no longer pretend you do not know these things about yourself because they have been stated explicitly. Now you have a choice. Actually, you have two choices, and these are the only choices available to you. Choice 1, you can close this message and return to the comfortable lies you have been living. You can forget what you just read. You can rationalize and justify and explain away everything I have revealed. You can go back to wasting your potential while pretending you are doing your best. This is the easy choice. This is what most people will choose. Because change is hard and denial is easy. Because facing yourself honestly is painful and self-deception is comfortable. Because trying and potentially failing is scary while not trying means you never have to face failure. If you choose this path, your life will continue exactly as it has been. In 5 years, you will be 5 years older with the same problems, the same unfulfilled potential, the same secret regrets. And you will wonder why nothing ever changes, even though you will know exactly why, because you chose comfort over growth. Choice 2, you can face every single truth I have revealed. You can stop lying to yourself. You can acknowledge your fears and work to overcome them. You can start acting instead of waiting. You can begin living authentically instead of performing for others. You can treat your time as the precious, finite resource it is. This is the hard choice. This requires you to change basically everything about how you currently live. It demands that you become uncomfortable regularly. It means facing your fears, doing the work you have been avoiding, and becoming someone you have never been before. If you choose this path, your life will transform. Not overnight. Not easily. But inevitably. Because consistent action aligned with your actual values and potential produces results that seem almost miraculous to those still choosing comfort. Hashtag the truth about secrets. Here is the final truth I want you to understand. Everyone has these same secrets. You are not uniquely flawed. You are not exceptionally weak. You are simply human, with the same fears, lies, and avoidance patterns that nearly everyone experiences. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not that successful people do not have these secrets. It is that they acknowledge them and work to overcome them rather than hiding from them. They admit when they are not working as hard as they could. They face their fears. They stop lying to themselves. They take action without waiting for permission or perfect conditions. They focus on their own path instead of comparing themselves to others. They are not different from you. They simply made a different choice when confronted with the same uncomfortable truths about themselves. Now I have given you those same truths. I have exposed your secrets not to shame you, but to free you. Because you cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot overcome problems you pretend do not exist. You cannot grow beyond patterns you deny having. Your secrets are no longer secret. The question is, what will you do now that they have been exposed? Will you continue living the lie? Or will you finally face the truth and begin the difficult work of becoming who you are actually capable of being? The answer to that question will determine everything about your future. Choose wisely. Choose honestly. And if you choose growth, start immediately. Because I know one more secret about you: you have been waiting your entire life for someone to call you out, to expose your patterns, to give you no choice but to face yourself honestly. That moment is now. Your secrets are exposed. There is nowhere left to hide. What you do next will define the rest of your life. I know your secrets. Now what?